Afternoon, then year five, and welcome to today's English lesson. So, as usual, English at the top of your page, today's LO, which is to predict a story, and today's date, which is Wednesday, the 3rd of February. Okay, so now obviously we are going to be doing a little bit of predicting. So, we're going to guess what we think might happen next in the story. So, at the end of our last lesson, we just finished chapter 2. So, this is the final page of the second chapter, and I'm just going to read this again for you, so make sure you're listening to what happens. I looked back at this island that so recently had seemed to us a paradise. I could see the hill and the cave. I could see the Cyclops in the cave entrance. He was still waiting for us to make our move. And I couldn't stop myself. I had to gloat. Polyphemus, it was not nobody who blinded you. It was somebody. It was Odysseus, a ram among sheep, king of rocky Ithaca. Remember my name for the rest of your life of stumbling darkness. Father Poseidon, did you hear his name? It was Odysseus who blinded your son. Blight his voyage with trial and calamity, so that if at least he reaches his homeland, let it be alone and unknown and under a strange sail, and let him find danger waiting where there should be a welcome. I laughed at the Cyclops' ranting, but my gloating did cost us dearly. Okay, so that's just the final page of that second chapter of the book, which we've already looked at already. So what I want you to do now is I want you to predict what you think might happen next in the book. So what I've written on this right-hand side here is I've just summarized what has happened in the book. So we're just going to go through this quickly. So first of all, what happened in that final page, sorry. So Odysseus gloated to the Cyclops. So by this he means that Odysseus, he bragged to the Cyclops about escaping. So he shoved it in his face a little bit to the Cyclops that he managed to escape without them noticing. Okay, and then the Cyclops obviously spoke to his god, Poseidon, the god of the sea, and he asked Poseidon to basically cause carnage to Odysseus' journey. So he threatened loads of bad things to happen to Odysseus. And what did Odysseus do? All he did was laugh at the idea. He didn't believe the Cyclops, okay? But what we can tell by this final line here, but my gloating would cost us dearly. What does this line show? Why did the author use this line in the final line of the chapter? So just have a little think about that. Okay, of course, he's used this line, so he's put, my gloating would cost us badly. He means by this that Odysseus is bragging on what he's done will have bad impacts on the rest of their journey. So this last line of the chapter shows that there will be bad impacts to come for Odysseus and his men. So what we're going to do, we're going to predict what we think might happen next. So will what the Cyclops said come true? Okay, so we know that what the Cyclops has said will come true because of this final line of the poem. We know that bad things are going to happen to Odysseus and his men. So on the right hand side here, I've just summarized the things that the Cyclops has said, or I've just taken little parts of what the Cyclops has said will happen to Odysseus. So blight his voyage with trial and calamity. If at last he reaches homeland, let it be alone and unknown, under a strange sail, and let him find danger where there should be a welcome. So what we're going to do is have a little think about what we think is meant by all of these things, and we're going to run through them now. So the first bit says, blight his voyage with trial and calamity. So what did the author mean by this? What does he mean is going to happen? So have a little think about that, and then we'll run through our answer. Okay, so you should have a little think. Okay, so of course it means the idea of it makes his journey difficult and dangerous. Okay, so the Cyclops asked Poseidon, the sea god, to make Odysseus' journey dangerous and difficult. Okay, so what could maybe Poseidon do? What could actually happen to make his journey dangerous and difficult? Okay, so he's obviously asked the god of the sea to do this, so it's going to be things to do with the sea that cause this kind of carnage. So what do you think might happen? Have a little prediction to yourselves. Okay, so I've just written that maybe there might be some huge crashing waves. There might be a tsunami, so that big, dangerous, destructive wave. Maybe he might get sea animals to attack the boat and to attack the people on the boat, okay? And maybe the boat floods with some water. Okay, so there's loads of different things that might happen. I want you to have a little think to yourself, predict some different things that might happen. You don't have to do any writing down for me though yet, so don't worry about that. Then it says, if at last he reaches homeland, let it be alone and unknown. So what does he mean by this? Okay, of course, very simply, all it means is that if he does reach home, if Odysseus does reach home, make sure that he is on his own and no one else on the boat has survived. Okay, so this might end up happening to Odysseus then. So Just written some ideas here down here. So all of his crewmates die on the ship, on the journey. How might this happen? Maybe because of the things that we've just mentioned on the previous slide. So the animals attacking, the tsunami, the big waves, the flooding boat, any of those things, anything that you might be able to think of as well. Another bit was says under a strange sail. So this meant that the Cyclops asked Poseidon to take him on a strange route home. So don't take him where he wants to go. Okay, so maybe it might, for example, take him to a different island where lots of dangerous things are happening. Or maybe it just makes the boat stranded at sea, so there's no current, the boat stays where it is, and so they can't move anywhere. And then finally, they put, let him find danger where there should be a welcome. So what he means by this, so where he should feel welcomed, e.g., for example, when he's at home, make this place dangerous. Okay, so for example, when he gets home, maybe his city's under attack, or maybe his family has been captured. So they're just different ideas of what could happen to Odysseus. So what your task is today is I want you to create your own storyboard predicting what you think will happen to Odysseus from when he leaves the Cyclops Island. Okay, so that'll be your first kind of story in your storyboard up until when Odysseus returns home. Okay, but it's important when you're doing the storyboard, you must include what the Cyclops has threatened would happen. So for example, all of these things here, so all of these things about the blighted voyage with trial and calamity, so all these dangerous things that might happen, you know, include all of these different things within your storyboard. And I'll show you an example in a minute if you're still a little bit confused. So include all these dangerous things that happen to his crew, you know, so dangerous things attacking the ship, maybe his boat stops and takes them where they don't want to go. Okay, but be creative, be imaginative. You can use some of my ideas I've listed before, so you can use some of these things on the right-hand side, but please make up your own. Feel free to be imaginative and creative. Your storyboard as well can be about 6 to 8 pictures long, so I want a minimum of 6. So what I've done for you is I've just done a little example of what my story would be, a little quick one. So I do my drawing here, and then I do my writing underneath. So my first one would be Odysseus and his crew set sail away from the Cyclops Island. So then I draw a little picture of that. My second bit would be, so heavy sea storms hit their ship and cause injuries and deaths to the crew. Okay, so that's when the bad things begin to happen, and we can draw an image of that up there. More bad things happen here, so sea animals begin to attack the boat and causes a flood in the ship. Okay, I'll draw that above. And then on my fourth picture here, I've got the sea's current stops and the boat is stranded in the ocean, causing crewmates to die of starvation. Okay, so I'm talking about this part here, under a strange sail. Okay, take him strange route home. Don't take him where he wants to go. That's what's happened in this bit here for me. Okay, the sea's current stops and the boat is stranded in the ocean. And then here, I've got eventually Odysseus. Now he's all alone, so all of his crewmates have now died. He's all in his own. He returns home only to find that his family have been taken prisoners. So that's the bad thing that happens when he gets home. But then, of course, like all stories, okay, let's end it on a happy ending. So Odysseus fights the enemy, rescues his family, and we can do our drawings above that. So there's just a little idea of what I want you to do. So you're going to create a storyboard, be creative, be imaginative. Don't just use the things that I've used. Let's add some different things in there. You feel free to magpie some of my ideas, but I want you to be a little bit creative yourself as well. Use your imagination. Okay, thank you very much, Year 5. I hope you can get on with that now. Please feel free to ask me any questions if you need them. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.